Just a quick note before I get into this. I am talking about something here that is complete rumour, not confirmed in any way. I did hear it from 2 people, but that means nothing. I can't vouch for them, I can't vouch for the information they have. And it happens all the time on this channel and other channels, I'm sure, where people will leave a comment saying something like it's a fact. An example of a baseless one would be all the comments all over the internet right now saying people know for a fact that Kylie Rodney did not die in an accident, which is nonsense unless they were there and did it, and somehow made it look like I don't even want to get into it. And an example of something which was true or can be true, I had here maybe a few weeks back on the Delphi case. There was 1 or 2 people commenting saying that Tony's mother's house was being searched as well. That information was true. And you kind of get a feel after a while for which ones might be true, but still, this is coming from strangers on the internet, so you can't be running with anything as fact. But I have had 2 people, one in comments and one in an email, tell me that Amanda had borrowed a phone or was given a phone from Debbie. I don't know where this falls on the scale of being nonsense or being true. I think somewhere around the middle, and I probably would kneel slightly towards it being true. Just because one of the people who said this to me had other information as well that seemed legit. And this little piece of info, if true, I believe could be very, very important to letting us know what happened here. And here's why. Stay with me now for like 2 minutes. But I had to reset a phone last week, an iPhone 11, nothing fancy. The system data on the storage was huge and I couldn't bring it down. I was deleting apps, photos, videos. It was like 60% of all my storage was on system data. I googled the heck out of it, and Google said if all else fails, you're going to have to restore the phone, just reset it. You don't lose anything. You do a backup beforehand to your iCloud, and then when you reset the phone, you download that backup. And it worked. It got rid of all this clunk, all this system data that I have no idea what it was. And by doing that, it will drastically reduce this system data, which might be from little apps and things just built up over the years. I tried everything not to reset the phone, but at the end, I had no choice. I had to do it. And when I was setting up the phone again, when I was going to restore it, it made me sign back into my Apple account so I could download my file, all my stuff, the backup. And this is where I ran into a problem, because Apple was trying to text me a code for security reasons. I'm sure all of you go through this. But I couldn't get into the phone to receive that text because it wouldn't even let me get in. It just turned into a real pain in the ass. I had an old iPhone 6 just stuffed away in my desk for a few years, and I tried to put the SIM card into that so I could get the text. But that phone was not recognising the SIM. And it did have another SIM in it that was working away fine, a different number, but for some reason it just wouldn't recognise the SIM card. So I was completely stuck, right? Not really, because to my surprise, the old phone still was logged into my Apple account, even though I updated the email associated with that account. I'm not sure how this works, but because this old phone was still logged into my Apple account, even with a different SIM card, or no SIM card at all at the end, I was able to send a push notification through to that old phone. I think instead of sending a text, I selected send to a registered device. This device was still registered somewhere in my Apple account. And lo and behold, it worked a charm. I was able to set back up the iPhone 11 because an old iPhone 6 was still registered to my Apple account. So that experience, and people saying that they think Amanda may have one of Debbie's old phones, has me very intrigued, because it might make a little bit of sense now. Let me give you a scenario. Amanda tells Debbie she lost her phone, she broke her phone, something happened, I don't know. And Debbie's like, Amanda, no problem. I have an old phone there if you want to take that. It's upstairs in the drawer, it's in the kitchen. Take it away. I got a new one recently, I don't need it. Would Debbie be after wiping that phone before transferring over to a new phone. I didn't. I don't think many people do if you're keeping the phone in your house. Different now if you're selling it or giving it away to a stranger, you might do some sort of reset then. But to a family member, to your daughter, I'm not so sure. On Amanda's second 911 call, if you remember, and a lot of people might have missed this because it's at the very end, there's 2 calls. It's the second 911 call. There's a little piece of info there that I find very interesting, and that's Amanda saying that she doesn't, wink wink, know Debbie's iCloud. She thought she did, so she must have tried it, but it didn't work.
Yes, ma'am. I thought about it, and I have her iCloud information. I know that and correct me if I'm wrong, but if the phone is turned off, it would still track her. But I do have her. I've got her Apple ID and what I thought was her password, but the password isn't working.
I just find that interesting that that's been put on the record. Is this Amanda's way of saying, hey, just in case you guys think I know the password, I don't. I did before, but I don't know. So Amanda admits she thought she knew it, which suggests at one time she did. Why? Why did Amanda have this password? Why would she know it? Did she help Debbie with a new phone? Did she get an old phone and be like, hey, I need the iCloud password there to download apps? What is it? I think there's something in it. I think phones and data are going to be huge here and break this case. We know from the press conference, from the police press conference, that they are looking to confirm what phone the Venmo was sent from. This is something that they'll do anyway, but I can't help but wonder, do they have something that might suggest that the Venmo did not come from Debbie's current phone? I mentioned in past videos Debbie's movement in the car park, and the time that the Venmo was sent matches up with Debbie reversing out, stopping the car, and then sitting there for a minute or two before driving off. If it was your intention to send a Venmo for over 2k, why would you do it like that? Why didn't she send it before she started reversing the car? And I can't help but wonder, what if Debbie is not sending the Venmo at that time? What if she is receiving a notification about a Venmo? I just find reversing the car, sitting there, then sending over 2k a bit odd. Why didn't she do it before she reversed? What I can see happening here is Debbie about to leave the car park and suddenly gets a notification about the Venmo and stops the car dead. Like, I'd stop my car in the middle of a motorway if I got a notification like that, never mind a car park. What if Amanda was the one who sent this Venmo to her own account from an old phone belonging to Debbie? I assume, like all banking apps, Venmo will have a separate password. But if Amanda, she admitted she knew the iCloud password at one stage, like, how many people have the same passwords for multiple things? If she did get an old phone, was there a 5-digit passcode on it that might match up to the banking app? What if the message was not from Debbie to Amanda, but from Amanda to Debbie? They were shouting the night before, probably about money. These things usually are. Is it possible Amanda was looking for money off Debbie because someone, her or Andrew, was in trouble if they didn't come up with cash fast? Debbie is like, no way, not happening. Amanda tells Debbie she's going to talk to them the next day, and maybe that's why she went north. Maybe Amanda was going to meet someone and Debbie was going to meet Amanda afterwards. But before any of that, Amanda just robs it, steals it from Debbie's account, sends Debbie a message saying, they won't let me go, so I'm robbing the money from you. I know you probably don't want to talk to me, you're going to be really pissed about this, so the key for the house is under the blue flower pot. What house? Could this be Amanda's house? Well, Steve's house, I believe, but the house that Amanda moved into 2 days ago. She's like, hey, I'm robbing you, I know you're going to kick me out, so I'm just going to leave. The key is under the blue flower pot. Love you, bye. Or maybe it's a key for Debbie's house. Does Debbie have all her passwords wrote down somewhere at home in a little book? Her Venmo password even? I know some people that do this. And it would be very interesting to know if Debbie has the key to her house with her. Was the key under the blue flower pot her day-to-day key? Was it a spare key? Are we all incorrect in saying Debbie sent that Venmo? What if her actions in the car park are her receiving notification of the Venmo? Gets notification, stops car, calls Amanda to be like, what the hell? Amanda doesn't answer, and we know it's come out since that Amanda is saying that she didn't see that Venmo for an hour after it was sent because she was cleaning her apartment. Was there any more missed calls with that, maybe? Did Debbie try to call Amanda after that Venmo was sent? And I started this whole theory off on a kind of shaky basis, but I think it might make a bit more sense up until this point. And this is kind of where I run into trouble myself and debunk myself. Because with this theory, at this point, there's still no premeditation. It's not planned out too much. If this scenario is correct, like, where does Debbie go next? After the dollar store, where does she go? Probably to confront Amanda, right? But Amanda is supposedly back in Athens. Or is she under the impression that Amanda is at a meeting spot somewhere and goes there? They won't let me go. Does she go to where they are? Is the key under the blue flower pot actually a key for Amanda's house? And Amanda is like, oh, I'm driving back to Maryland. I'll meet you there on the way for a chat. Debbie's like, pull over, we'll just talk about it. Like, do you think this is a plausible scenario? How does Debbie get from the dollar store to where she was found? What happened there in that part? And that's where I run into problems even with this theory. You really start having to make some huge leaps. Like, why is Debbie up there anyway, so far away, an hour from home? What's she doing up there? Why is she buying these items? There's a lot less in this theory, but every theory has multiple roadblocks. But please give some thought and have a good think about what I said about Amanda having a phone that has Debbie's Apple ID signed in. Is it possible the Venmo message was actually from Amanda to Debbie and not Debbie to Amanda? And like all this, all the phone stuff, phone calls, data, the times, how many times Debbie reset her iCloud password, the police, the FBI are going to have all that very, very soon, if not already. And Amanda might get herself into a bit of a knot. She might be in a bit of a pickle with this data. Or it could easily be the case that when all this data comes back, all the phone records, that it will clear Amanda completely. If there's nothing there, there's nothing there. You have to wonder as well though about that search warrant. They haven't released a search warrant affidavit or anything like that. But why did they search Amanda's house so fast? What did they tell a judge to get him to sign that warrant? It's a mad case. Very interesting. Let me know what you think. Is it possible that this Venmo message was sent from Amanda to Debbie and not Debbie to Amanda? Good luck. God bless. I hope everyone has a good day.